So welcome everybody. This is the strangest parent orientation ever, but we're going to get through it. This is something we do every year to give everybody just kind of, we talk about carpool, we talk about a lot of things that you guys need to know before the first day of school. We may end up having a couple of these as things change during the year, but for now, I just wanted us to all have an opportunity to get together. At the end, if we have time, you can chat in some questions, and you're certainly welcome to call me after the meeting to ask any questions you might have. I'm going to be working, so you can call me anytime. I do want to take this opportunity to introduce two people from the church. I also want to say that we would not be open if it weren't for the support of the church, the trustees, and the reopening board. The church is not even open yet, and they were very supportive of us being able to open our doors and to have this opportunity for the kids to come back to school. So I just, whenever you see any of the church staff, just thank them very much, because we would not be in this position now if we did not have the support of the church. So there's two people I want to introduce. I want to introduce Susan Penson and then Mark Westmoreland. They're going to talk a little bit about the church and do a quick blessing, and then we're going to introduce all our awesome teachers. So Debbie, why don't you go to Susan? There's Susan.
All right, hello, and I'm Susan Penson. I'm one of the associate pastors at the church. If we haven't met yet, if you're new to Glen, welcome. And you will often hear us say that we are a big Glen family. So whether you're a Glen school family, Glen church family, both, Glen basketball, if you shop at the pumpkin patch every year, which we hope is still happening in October, there's a lot of things in our community that are under the ethos of Glen, but it's all under the ministries of Glen Memorial United Methodist Church. And want you to know that if you are not receiving our Kids at Glen weekly children's ministry email yet, you will be soon. You're welcome to unsubscribe. Won't hurt my feelings. But in that email, I put everything church related and family ministries related. And it might be worth signing up for, because many of you have found out it had things in it this year, like when we opened the playground last month for private quarantine playgroups. And look, from the looks of the slots being filled very quickly, we only have a few slots left. A lot of the Glen School families took us up on that opportunity. Of course, we have weekly opportunities all online right now for children's ministries and family ministries. A Sunday school at 10 a.m. on Zoom on Sundays for all ages, and a sing-along for children, since we can't do choir right now in person. So I usually say at orientation, I have an open door, closed door, but open door. I'm in person. My office is right across from the Dolphin and Whales room, but of course I'm working virtually right now. So I'm just an email or text away if you have any needs in your family for pastoral care. Me and Pastor Mark and the rest of our staff are available to support families through all sorts of challenging times, which we are all living through right now. So look forward to connecting with you if we haven't met, and supporting your family in these strange times. And our senior pastor, Mark Westmoreland, is here, and he's going to offer a blessing for the school year.
Yeah, thank you, Susan, first for reminding us all we're all in this together. And I do hope you know that we're here for you. We consider all of you a part of the Glen family, the Glen church family, the not just extended family. You're part of us, and we want to be there for you. These are strange days. These are challenging days. And I know it's challenging at home with work and your children, and trying to manage and trying to figure out the best route through all of this. We're here to work with you and help you. I am so proud of this preschool staff and Carrie and her leadership, and how they have put together this program for this year in an unprecedented time and horrendous circumstances, to find their way through this, to do the very finest research they could, and to put together a program that will be safe for your children and will be meaningful for your children. And we are delighted as a church to support Carrie and all this ministry and its work. And so let us know how we can be of help to you. We're here, and I'm in the building sometimes and quite a bit now. And if there's any way any of us can be of help to you or your family, please do not hesitate to call on us. And Susan has lots of good offerings. Watch those And we are online on Sunday mornings, and we'd love to have you join us there for our online virtual services at 8:30 and 11 o'clock, 8:30 on YouTube, 11 o'clock on Facebook, and it's there all through the week. So you can find out more about our church in a very easy way these days, virtually. And so please do, and let us know how we can help. But anyway, welcome. We're here for you, and I'd like to offer a prayer now as we begin. Let's pray. Our loving God, we give you thanks for every home represented here, for the families of this preschool, for the teachers, for the staff, and for all that is being done, that these children might be blessed, that these children might know they are loved, that these children might grow, oh God, in your grace and in knowledge. Help us all to work together. Help us to be patient with one another. Help us to be caring toward one another. And help us, oh God, always to be responsive to the needs of the people around us. And we are thankful, oh God, for your presence in our midst. And we seek to know your love undergirding all that we do. We seek to know, oh Lord, your grace, and that we might share it together in this place. But guide us, let your spirit be at work in our midst, that we might move through these challenging days and these uncertain times. Help us, oh Lord, to find a way that is good, that is safe, that is meaningful, that is gracious. And we offer all this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mark. So now we are going to go through and introduce all of our fantastic teachers. I'll let you know what age group they're teaching. At least you can see their faces. And I know that all of the teachers have worked out, and if they haven't communicated with you yet, they will tomorrow, either drive-bys or some kind of meet and greet that is social distancing and outside. And so you'll get a chance to meet the teachers, hopefully sometime this week before we start next week. Let me start with our fantastic kindergarten teaching team that have been together, I think 15 years, maybe longer. Debbie Dotson is one of our kindergarten OWL teachers. And then Paula Tweet is her co-teacher. See if she can get her up on the screen, spotlight her. There's Paula. Hi, Paula. They're a fantastic team. Kindergarten is going to be awesome this year. So we're really looking forward to that starting. Our next group are the monkeys, our pre-K monkeys. And Catherine Leith is one of the teachers in that class. There's Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, everyone.
And then Elizabeth Leonard is the other teacher in that class. Hey, Elizabeth. Our next group are the Pandas, our pre-K Pandas, and that's Mary Catherine Pearson. Is she available, Debbie? Let's see. There she is. Hi, Mary Catherine. How are you?
Hi.
And then one of our new teachers this year, we're super excited to have her, Melissa Lerner, is going to be the other teacher in the the Panda class.
Hello,
So,
everyone.
hey, Melissa, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So our next group is going to be the Dolphins, and that's Christy Andrews is one of our Dolphins teachers. There's Christy. Hi, Christy. And then another new teacher this year, Stacy Broadbeck, is going to be our other Dolphins teacher. Hi, Stacy. There she is. Hi, Stacy. And so our next group is going to be the Whales. And Kay Cheatham is one of our Wales teachers. Hey, Kay, how are you? Our next teacher, I'm not sure if she's available tonight. She had something come up in her family, is Sonia Tyler. And I don't think she's available tonight. So we'll get her introduced to your class another way. So, but Sonia's awesome. She's been with us for quite a while, and she's a breath of fresh air and sunshine. Our next class is going to be the Honeybees. So Lonnie House is one of our teachers in the Honeybees. There's Lonnie. Hi, Lonnie.
Hi, everyone.
And then Erin Brewster is one of our honeybee teachers. Hey.
Hi, everybody.
And then I'm not sure if she's available tonight or not, but Tracy Chu is going to be another one of our honeybee teachers. Is Tracy there? I can't remember if she was going to be here tonight. Okay, if she doesn't pop up in a second, I'll go ahead and move on. I'm going to move on to our bears. Our polar bear and brown bear teachers are Terry Davis. There's Terry, Miss Terry. And then Carol Wilson is our other bears teacher. Hey, Carol. And then we're going to move to our lambs, our toddler lambs. We have Laura Trainer. And Laura teaches in our lambs and our bunnies. So we're just going to go to her one time. Is she there? Let's see. There she is. Hi, Laura. And then Deanna Schreibman is another one of our lambs teachers. I saw her earlier, so I think she's there somewhere. Hey, Deanna. And then Almaz Kadan is our, she teaches in the lambs and the bunnies as well. So Almaz teaches in both classes. Let's see, I think Almaz is there. Here's Almaz. Hi, Almaz. And then Dana Merriman teaches in the bunnies class. There's Dana. Hi, Dana. So then we have Mr. Bruce is back. He's been here many, many years, and the kids just love him. He's our music teacher, and he's so silly. So there's Mr. Bruce. And then we're going to go to, well, Debbie DeCruz. Can you go on yourself, Debbie? Debbie is our office and web manager. She's managing the meeting today, so she's very busy tonight. So she'll talk to you a little bit later in our presentation. And then Beth Smith is our financial manager. And every year I say, thank God for Beth, because you don't want me to do the finances, people. She's awesome, and she will be available to help with anything financial as the year goes on. And then is our awesome counselor, Miss Letice Edgeston. Hi, Letice. Did you want to say hello to everybody real quick, Letice?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I am so excited. I know this year is a bit different, but we are here for it, and we are here for you. I am the school counselor. I have the best job in the world, even though a couple of teachers and Carrie and some other people might want to argue about that. I am all things social, emotional, and behavioral. So we know that this is a really tough time, as Mark said. And so please, pretty please, with a cherry on top, if I can be helpful in any way, please reach out to me as we're transitioning. I am here for you, and I'm looking for a different and really exciting year. It's great to see everybody.
Thank you, Letice. All right, so there's one little business thing that I want to take care of. Of course, last year we were a couple weeks away from our wonderful Glen Gallo auction. We were all ready to go, and then we had to step out. We had to close everything down. So we've got our parent council folks will be talking a little bit about what the auction's going to look like. But we have these wonderful sponsors who donated money to the event. And so I just want to recognize them really quickly. And then we'll go on to all the stuff that we need to do for the rest of the evening. Debbie's going to share the screen. So we have 2 presenting sponsors. Let those pop up. There we go. So our presenting sponsors are Audi Atlanta and then Steiner Studio. So they're our highest level sponsors. So we thank them so much. You're going to start seeing banners and signs and things to recognize them. And I'll be recognizing these folks in our newsletters and things like that before we have our virtual event in November. So our gold level sponsor is Oxygen Financial. Our silver level sponsors are Allied World Insurance, Keller Knapp Realty, and eHome Loan Advisors. And then our bronze sponsor is Curry Honda. So we just cannot tell you how important sponsorships are for us getting the financial support that we need in order to make it through the school year. So we wanted to recognize these people. So, and the auction's going to be fun. It's going to be a virtual auction. We've got all sorts of great stuff to auction off, and we'll get more information to you about that once we get the year started. So I'm going to let teachers, if they want to, they are welcome to go on about their evening. And I'm going to go ahead and start in with the usual stuff. And so we're going to kind of go through the things that we normally do in a normal year. And then we'll talk a little bit more about kind of the preparations that we've made. And then we'll answer some questions at the end. So I do want to just touch base about kind of tuition and financial stuff. Tomorrow, we're going to send out a Survey Monkey that will just have 3 quick questions on it. And we're going to ask that every parent answer those questions for us. I've had lots of emails about people delaying, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And to be honest with you, I've tried to keep track as best I can, but I'm not sure I've kept track of everybody. So this will help me to know who is going to be there on the 8th. Who is going to delay, and what your anticipated delay date is when you think you might start, and then whether or not you're going to take that option 3 if you're delaying your start to hold your spot. I have a lot of people on the wait list in the older classes. They're calling me regularly. If you're not going to hold your spot, I need to be able to offer a spot to some of these families that are really looking for a place to be. So please fill that out and let me know. If you do not fill it out, I'm going to assume that you're not holding your spot. So I really need people to do that. I do want to let families know that if you delay, you don't have to know exactly when you're going to start. Some folks are telling me, I just want to wait a couple weeks. I want to wait a month. I want to see how it goes. Some folks are saying, I'm not coming back until January. And so I understand that it's a hard decision. So if you will just give me an indication of when you think you might start, you're not locking anything in stone. I do want to say though, once you start, you're kind of back on the regular tuition thing. It's going to be impossible. Beth will lose her mind, and I cannot have Beth losing her mind if we're trying to go back and forth and back and forth. But we will support whatever decision you guys make. And, you know, again, you don't need to wait until January if you're delaying your start. You can come at any time. What we do ask is that you communicate with your teachers, and that you communicate with me, and that you give us about a week to kind of figure out, you know, get everything ready for your child to come. So please give us a heads up. Don't just show up one day. Please let us know. Tuition's due at the 1st of every month. Everybody's already paid their September tuition, so we won't have tuition due until October. You'll be able to either pay it through a check and send that in through your child, or you can pay on by credit card on the website. There are some fees associated with that, but on the website you can see the exact fees, the 2 different prices. So we're going to be doing some work on the website this week and next week to get everything really up to date, the calendar. I think the tuition stuff is already up to date. I'm working on the parent handbook and trying to get that just tweaked and updated a little bit, and we'll send out a link to that as well. And that will have some more detailed information about all of this. So again, the handbook is going to be updated. I'll have it ready by Friday. So we're going to send out some communication and keep you guys up to date with what's coming on and try and have links to that. I also know that I've heard from a couple people that the volunteer form that I sent, it linked to the COVID waiver, not to the volunteer form. So tomorrow I will try and, when I send out the thing, I'll put that on that communication in case folks didn't get a chance to fill that out. That's a good segue into my next 2 parents that are going to speak a little bit. These are our parent council chair people. I think some of you were on the COVID when we were talking about the plan, so you may recognize these ladies. They're going to talk a little bit about some of the events that are coming up and give you a little bit more information, and then we'll hear from Anna Mitchum about the Glen sale. So I think we'll probably start. Ann, do you want to start, or Kate? Ann, you want to start? Oh, I think she's frozen. But
Yeah, I'll be here too, and ask me afterwards. So welcome again, everyone. I'm Ann Elsmeyer. For those of y'all who don't know me, and I have a daughter, Wiley, who will be a Dolphin this year, and a son, Jeffrey, who graduated from the Owls last year. So do have some knowledge about Glen if anybody has any questions, any of the new parents. But welcome returning and new parents. We look forward to seeing you in the carpool line, probably over masks, but we'll take what we can get. Just to kind of reiterate, Parent Council is just meant to support the school and the parents throughout the life of the school year. And there are several really fun events that the Parent Council helps with, several committees that are chaired, several that need a chair, so I'll plug those as well. But before I get into that, I wanted to give a quick update on the efforts to raise money for Hepa filters in the classrooms, because I know people might have questions. But just to reiterate, we just, some parents kind of came up with the idea that, you know, why don't we try to put Hepa filters in the classrooms just as an extra precautionary measure. There are 8 classrooms, and thus far we've raised about $1,800. So thank you very much for everyone who's contributed. If anyone else still would like to, we're probably going to cut it off tomorrow so we can make some decisions about purchasing them to try to have some here for next week. So in addition to that, the $1,800, we've also had 3 in-kind donations. So Lindsay Marshburn and Kelly Cole were nice enough to volunteer to let us borrow 3 Hepa filters for the year. So thank you to y'all. Kind of the plan right now is to, I'm sorry, technical difficulties. The plan right now is to put a portable Hepa filter in each of the 8 classrooms. And in the meantime, kind of on a parallel track, we are going to ask Emory about the possibility of installing Hepa filters within the HVAC systems, which we've learned, or I've learned, I guess people have known this, but I've learned is going to be more effective than the portable kind of plug-in Hepa filters. So thanks very much to Bevan Carter and Kim and Michael Steiner for sharing some of their expertise on that. This is another subject matter that I've gotten schooled in 2020. So add it to the list. And if anybody has suggestions, specific knowledge, please come to me, come to Carrie, come to Kate, and help us use these funds in the most effective way. But the plan right now is to put the portable filters in place for next week, and then also ask Emory about installing the filters in the HVAC systems. And then briefly, the committees and some events throughout the year. We will, the first thing that we'll have this year will be the book fair. And I believe that's obviously going to be all online, but it's a great way to stock up on books and also support the school. Family Day is usually just a time for parents, teachers, kids to socialize, get to know one another. It's a really fantastic social event, usually in the fall. Seems like it's going to be pushed to the second semester, like many things this year. The Glen Gala, I'll let Kate talk about in a second. That's the auction. Transportation City is typically in January, and this is a great chance for the kids to just cut up and have a good time. We basically turn the fellowship hall into a big track and install a car wash, a nail salon, a pizza place, a grocery store for the kids to kind of drive through and just have a good time. There's also Teacher and Staff Appreciation Committee, and I think that most of our events for that will be in the spring as well, but we have a whole week of Teacher and Staff Appreciation, so stay tuned for emails about how you can support that and contribute to that. And finally, we have a Room Parent Committee and a Communications Committee, and both of those 2 committees we need a chair for. So if you're interested in either kind of coordinating and being the liaison for the Room Parent Committee or helping us with communications, please reach out to me, to Kate, or to Carrie, and we would love to work with you. But that's it, and we're excited, and we appreciate all the efforts that Carrie and all the staff have gone through to make this a happy week next week. So we look forward to seeing everyone.
Thank you, Anne.
Uh-huh.
There's Kate. Hi, Kate.
Hi, let me unmute. Okay. Hi, welcome to Glenn this semester. We're very excited. And thank you, Anne, for explaining all of that. The gala, like Carrie mentioned, will be in November. And we have a lot of great items, gift cards, experiences, and items, I guess, that are going to be for auction, and will support Glenn. So we hope that everyone will log in, and there is still a little bit of work to do. So if you were on the auction committee or the gala committee last year, we could still use some help, I think, leading up to the auction. And if you're interested in helping out but weren't on the committee, you should also reach out to us. And I think that's it. And thank you, Carrie and Glenn community, for all that you've done to open school. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. And then we're going to have Anna Mitchum talk a little bit about the Glen sale this year. Everything looks a little different this year, folks, but it's going to be interesting and fun. So Anna, are you still there? There's Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hey. All right, so I'm Anna Mitchum. I am the sale committee chair this year. I do have two boys. One is in pre-K and one will be in a 2-year-old room. Just if you see me around, those are two boys I'm chasing after. I wanted to provide a really quick update about the sale. You may or may not have known, but the sale was scheduled for mid-September. But over the summer, when we heard about like districts moving to virtual learning and we were unknown about what Glen School is going to look like, we decided that it was best to go ahead and postpone the sale. So that being said, the sale is now going to be in the spring, most likely in March. We're working to finalize the exact date, so stay tuned for that. Another detail is that we're moving to a virtual platform, which is going to be a lot easier and less labor intensive, but we still need your parent volunteer hours. The roles will just look different than what you have experienced if you volunteered for the sale before. And then the last thing is that we're working to build a larger committee. And if you're not familiar with the committee, the jobs are going to vary and the time commitment will be much less than it has been before. So just stay tuned for later this fall and we'll share more details about what parent volunteer expectations will be, as well as opportunities to join our committee.
Thank you so much. So now I'm going to let Debbie, who's trying to run the meeting, I'm going to have her say something too. Debbie's going to talk a little bit just about the Class Dojo and some social media stuff. So there she is. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, thank you everybody for coming tonight. So I know I've been harassing a lot of people through either Class Dojo or through MailChimp about getting signed up for Class Dojo. The main reason why I'm doing that is because of the fact that in order to, if we ever go to phase 1 and go virtual, or your class has to go virtual for any reason whatsoever, it's important that you are already in the class ahead of time, because this is what you're paying for. This is what your tuition is going towards, is having access to this online space. So it's very, very important that you sign up as a parent in order to have access to Class Dojo, because on Friday, this Friday, September 4th, I'm going to be sending out the invites to everybody via Class Dojo. This is not going to be necessarily through your email or through MailChimp or anything like that. It's going to be going through Class Dojo itself, so they may send you a separate email, and that is where you're going to get access to your child's student account. So we need the parent account set up ahead of time. So if you want to, well, it's not that you want to, you need to be signed up with your parent account in order to get that invite. And if you are not signed up by Friday with your parent account, you will not get that invite. And it's very important that you have access to that. So what I ask that everybody does, I repeat this because I know that Class Dojo sent it to me because I'm also a parent. My son Joshua is going to be a Dolphin this year. So I get the parent emails as well, just like everybody else. But I know that it showed up in one of my filtered Gmail boxes because they have the promotions, they have the updates and whatnot. So make sure you check those, or make sure you check all mail because it might not be popping up. You can do a quick search in your email for Class Dojo and you might find the invite there. The other thing that is important to know is we've sent it to the email address that you provided on your child's application to the Glen School. So if that was an outdated email address, or that's the email address you don't want associated with that account, you need to speak with me about that. Please do not send me something in chat right now about it. I will not be checking chat. I will not be able to keep track of that. So if you think that you applied with a different email address and you want another one sent for your invite, please send me an email. My email is D as in dog, S as in Sarah, D as in dog, CRU, Z as in zebra, E as in elephant. So it's dsdecruz@glenumc.org. So you need to send me an email through there in order to change your email address for your invite for Class Dojo. So if you can't find it or you need to update it, please send it to me and I'll resend you the invite, or I'll update your email address through Class Dojo. Some of the other things that we are doing is we have a Facebook page. So please like that. It's where you'll get some of the updates through Glen. I try to update it with some fun articles. So like this week, we're going to be, having some interesting articles about getting your child to wear a mask, some of the CDC guidelines on talking to your children about going back to school. So I try to keep it updated at least once a week. So if you want to just, check it out, if you're on Facebook, you should be able to find a link of that on our website, or if you just type in the Glen School at Facebook, you'll be able to find it. But I think that's everything that I had to say as far as Class Dojo and social media. So
Thank you, Debbie. So that kind of segues into, I've had our master list, we had some addresses and zip codes get mixed up. And so some people did not receive their packets, and a couple packets came back to us. I think I have updated all of those. I'm going to ask each teacher to get with you guys to get addresses all up to date, make sure we have the most current information so that we're able to mail you things, that we're emailing you things. You should be getting, emails from this week at Glen pretty regularly now. I'm going to send out a couple of things this week. If you don't get something, again, always check your junk box and make sure that it's not in there. But let me know and we'll get it fixed. So I want to make sure it's going to be important that we're able to communicate with each other by email, by whatever method we can, because we're not going to be able to have the same kind of interaction and face-to-face stuff that we're used to. So let me know, just shoot me an email, we'll fix it, we'll figure it out. I'll also attach the forms again this week in a couple of the emails so that folks can get those forms in. I do need all of those forms before school starts. And some folks have said, well, I'm going to delay. Should I send them in anyway? I prefer that we just get them all in so that we're not chasing people for forms later in the year. So please try and get those in on Thursday when teachers are doing their kind of meet and greets and carpool drive-through things. If you can bring forms then and drop them off, that will be wonderful. I'll be there. And we're also going to try and hand out the carpool cards. So everybody will be able to get their carpool card on Thursday. That will help the first day of carpool go a little bit more smoothly. So let me know. Also, the post office has lost some things, and so we're trying not to do as many things by mail. Some of it's been user error, mine, with the addresses and things, but we just want to make sure that everybody's getting what they need and getting communicated with in a timely way. So let us know if you're having any trouble there. I do want to say we do have some spots, and as the year goes on, We will have some spaces in like our 2-day 2 and our toddler classes right now. And so to be honest with you, it's going to be hard to do tours in the beginning of the year. So our best advertising is you guys. And so if you know families, if you're happy with Glenn, please encourage them to give me a call and talk about our program so that we can get some families in there so that next year we're in a really good position as far as our numbers. You guys are our best advertising. So we really will kind of need you guys to really let folks know about us this year. We're going to work on a virtual tour of the school that we can put on the website, and I'll be doing a lot of tours by Zoom in the fall. So we're going to work on different ways that we can reach some community families, particularly for next school year, but even for this school year, we do have some spots in the younger classes. So please let folks know. We always talk about parent sign-in policy when you can come in the building. Of course, in phase 2, parents aren't going to be permitted to come in the building. But once we get out of phase 2, and I think we will at some point this year, you do need to come to the office to sign in before you go to any classrooms. We need to know who's in the building. You guys would want to know, we want us to know if somebody is in the building. And so we need everybody to check in. Don't just run in and go straight to the classroom. Pop in, sign in, so that we know that you're around. And we'll have a little name tag there so that you can put a name tag on. And again, that's for something that hopefully that's probably going to happen in the future. But we're going to let you guys know when things change, when we are able to have parents in. You know, my hope is that once we get into a groove, we might be able to at least allow mystery readers to come in, like a 1 parent at a time, for small volunteer opportunities. So we're going to work on that, and we'll just let you know when we have changes in that. I love how cute kids are in their cute little dresses and the cute little shoes, but we do want them to come appropriately dressed. They're going to get dirty. They're going to get messy. They're going to be painting. They need shoes that are closed toe, not sandals, so that they can run on the playground, so that they can manage the equipment. So just a reminder, please make sure they're wearing tennis shoes and kind of appropriate clothes that can get dirty. We also want everybody to send at least 1 change of clothing that you can just leave in their bag, and in case something happens, in case they have an accident or something, we can change them. We don't have that stuff in the office, and we do want to change them into their own clothes. So please make sure that you send something in for them. And teachers will give you more information about how they want to manage that. So watch for that communication. We're going to be communicating at least every Friday through This Week at Glenn, and then teachers will be communicating through Class Dojo. Those are going to be our 2 primary forms of communication. Debbie, like she said, is going to be sending things out on Facebook. So if you're connected on those things, you shouldn't miss much. You'll be able to get all the information. Little bit about parent-teacher conferences. Again, this year, a little bit, well, in the fall, it's not going to be that different. We do parent-teacher conferences through by telephone in the fall. And so probably the first week and a half of October, you should be getting a phone call from your teacher to let you know how your child is doing. I think teachers are going to try and contact even parents whose kids haven't started, just to give them some information about how things are going at the, in the classroom, and kind of check in with you and see how that's going. And then in the fall, we created a new tool last year with a lot of support and information from our parents. And so we have a tool that we kind of can fill out for you guys, and it gives you information about how your child is doing, what we're working on, and how they're kind of accomplishing different tasks and different developmental milestones. And then we will send that home, and at that, when you receive that, you have an opportunity to request a face-to-face conference. One thing I like to tell parents, I'm a mom of 4, and I think that when something's going on, the sooner you intervene, the sooner you deal with it, the better for your child. So if we have a concern, you're going to hear from us. We're going to set up a conference. We're going to get involved with you. whatever time of the year it is. If you have a concern, you can request a conference at any time during the year. So please don't hesitate. If you're worried about something, if you have a question, you can reach out to your teachers first. I really do prefer you try and get the information from your teachers, because they're going to know more about the day-to-day of the classroom. But feel free to reach out to me, to Letice, if you'd like Letice or me to observe to see how your child's doing in this first week and two when kids are transitioning in. If you want to shoot me an email and say, how are they doing? Especially some of you new families that haven't been at the school, we'll go pop down and check on them, and then we'll let you know how they're doing. We'll text you or we'll send you an email and let you know, and hopefully even be able to send you a little picture of how they're doing. I do want to assure you, again, we have a very tenured, very awesome staff, and they know how to help kids transition. They also know when it's time to call it a day. And so if they feel like your child is done for the day, they're going to call you and they're going to let you know when you can come and get them. And we're just going to keep trying until we get them settled in. And so we'll work with you. And if there's something that makes them feel secure, pictures of the family or of you guys, you can send that in. You can work with your teacher to figure out a plan for your child. So just want to let you know, we're very flexible about that. But if we are ever worried about anything, we're gonna call you, and we're gonna call you right away. I'm not gonna say a ton about the COVID plan and all that, because I feel like we've already had those meetings. But I want to tell you that the teachers were all there today and have been in and out over the last week getting ready. They feel very comfortable and confident in the plan that we've created. They are ready to go. They're very excited about the kids coming and as you know, moving forward. We're going to be cleaning, we're going to be temperature checking, we've got our pods, we've got a playground schedule and a music schedule, so kids aren't going to be bumping into each other. They're not going to be sharing the playground space. So I think we have a really good plan. I've also been in really close contact with multiple other preschools that have either already started or who are starting this week, and talking to them, what's working, what's not working. Several of them have been in session for 3 weeks already, and they're doing fine. It's going well. The kids are wearing masks. The kids are happy. The teachers are happy. It's all going well. So I'm very confident that we're going to be able to do this, and that it's going to be a different experience for the kids, but it's going to be a great experience. And I think it's going to be more different for the adults than it is for them, because they're going to be with their buddies and they're going to be playing and they're going to have a great time. Illness policy, we've talked about this with COVID. Our threshold is going to be very, very, very small this year. You know, I've had a couple parents who say my child has allergies, and they're kids that we know well. Teachers are going to be asking you, what is normal for your kid? And we're going to try and get a sense of what's normal for your child, so that we can, you know, if they're fine, we want them to be in school. But if they are not fine, you guys will know, you know, we've got to be very vigilant about not sending kids to school if they're sick this year. Everybody knows this. I have confidence that all of our parents are on the same page. But, and we talked about this at the COVID, when we were doing the question and answer with the COVID meeting. If we don't all kind of take this seriously and do the same thing and minimize our risk outside school, then this may not work. If we're all minimizing our risk outside school, communicating with each other, letting us know if there's a change, if you've had an exposure, so that we can make good decisions about keeping everybody safe, then it's, you know, again, we just have to all be in this together, and we all have to work together. Also, I said at the last meeting, you know, you can do all the right things and still have an exposure or still even get COVID. And so if that happens, we need to support each other. We need to be there for each other. We need to not, you know, be angry or upset with each other. What we need to do is we need to immediately know, so that we can make sure that we prevent anybody else from getting sick. And so we just need folks to be very honest with us about what's happening and what their exposure is. We're going to have a list of questions, and we've ordered the signs. I think they're coming this week, but there will be a series of questions in the carpool line, and those, you need to answer those questions every day. And it's about exposure, it's about fever, it's about symptoms. If you answer yes to them, you've got to check with me before your child comes into the building. So please be extra careful. If your child is sent home sick, probably you're going to get a call from me, and we're going to come up with a plan for what needs to happen in order for your child to be coming back to school. You know, in some instances, if it's fever, if their symptoms are really aligned with COVID, we're going to probably ask that you take them to the doctor or get a doctor's note before they come back. We've never done that in the past, but this is a different time. So but we'll work together. But I'll probably call you and we'll talk through what's going on and see if we can figure out what it is. Children are going to get sick with lots of things this year. So I know that just because they're running a fever, it could be an ear infection, it could be other things. But we just need to, again, be as careful as we can moving forward. We also, if we have any kind of, you know, any kind of sickness in a classroom, if we've got strep throat, if we've got a couple kids with strep, or we've got flu, or we've got lice, hopefully not, but you know, we occasionally will have a case of lice in our school. We will send home letters, we will email the classes, we will notify the whole school. If we have a COVID exposure, everyone will know. I will communicate that with everybody, which is what I said previously. You know, I do want to clarify, and I might put this in the email tomorrow. You know, I had a parent ask me, you know, why are we opening in phase 2? And part of the criteria for opening in phase 2 was a downward trend over a 2-week period, which we have had in Georgia. And I've been watching the numbers, and I will send links to the different places that I'm watching numbers, because we'll continue to watch the numbers. But to be honest with you, once we're in school, decisions will be more about what's happening in our community, which is what we talked about when we were having the meeting. And also my communication with other schools and what other schools were doing, and that schools were open and doing it successfully because of our size, because of our tenured staff. I think we can do this, and I think we can do it well, and we can keep everybody safe. So just wanted to let you know that, but I will put those links to those sites that I'm checking numbers at on a regular basis, and so everybody will have that information. Let's talk about parking and carpool. That's always the big one. Parents can park at the Youth and Activities building across the street, or in the Fishburne deck if you want to walk your child up. We're strongly encouraging parents to use carpool, except for our toddler families that do need to walk their child up. So if at all possible, please use carpool. I think it will help with the transition. It will ensure that we get everybody checked before they get in the building. But if you need to park near the building, say you need to pick up your child early one day, you need to call the office. We will get your child. We will bring them to the door. And you can park in those parallel spots, not the ones marked for the ministers, but you can park in the parallel parking spaces in the carpool lane. But we ask that you not do that until after morning carpool, and that you leave well before afternoon carpool. And please don't ever park in handicap spaces. We have a lot of church. We'll start opening for activities, and they'll start having some church volunteers in the building, and several of those folks really do need the handicap spots. So please do not use those. Our morning carpool is going to look really similar, and so is our afternoon carpool for those that are returning. The one thing that will be different is we'll have more people working carpool. What we're going to do is when you pull up, we're going to have Mr. Bruce checking temperatures of the kids in the car, and then sending them on to me and Latisse, or me and Debbie, or whoever's working carpool. We're going to get them out of the car. We're asking that everybody wear a mask. All the parents wear a mask. We will be wearing masks, and children 3 and older wear masks when we get them out. We'll try and space the kids out so there's a good distance between all the kids, and there'll be teachers in different locations to really just get them straight to their room. We have had some kids in years, they want to wait for their friends. We won't be doing that. We'll be encouraging them to get to their classroom, and then once they're in the classroom, they'll be able to hang out with their buddies. The toddler door will be the door closest to North Decatur in the carpool. If you come through the carpool line and you're looking at the building, the door on the right is going to be for the toddlers. The door to the left will be for the 2-year-olds and up. And we will have people doing temperature checks there. If a parent is walking them up, we will check their temperature before they come in the building. And we'll have signs on the doors. We'll have good signage so that everybody knows. We will not allow parents to, well, first of all, you're not allowed in the building, but nobody is allowed to come through the North Decatur location door, the door that's right off North Decatur, except for staff. We've got some church staff that are kind of at high risk, and we want to prevent a lot of people being in that part of the building. So the afternoon carpool, we are working on kind of where all the classes are going to sit. They're going to be spread way out from each other. We will still have 4 different places where cars will pull up, and we will load children in cars. Children, we will put them in the car, but the parent will be responsible for buckling them. So we want to leave those spaces off to the side open so that parents can pull over, get their children all buckled in. There's so many different car seats. We want to make sure they're secure, so we want parents to be responsible for buckling them in. And a lot of our pre-K kids and kindergarten kids can buckle themselves in, and we can watch them do that. Afternoon carpool starts at 11:50. We are done at 12:10, so you're late at 12:11. We usually get through carpool pretty quickly, about 15 minutes. And so, you know, we ask that people be on time. If you are late, we'll wait. And I'm at the end of this, I think we have a slide that has my cell phone number and my email address. And so I carry my phone around with me in case of emergencies, and I will keep my ringer on. And so if you're running late, please don't drive fast. Please don't get a ticket. Just call me and we'll find a safe place to hang out until you're able to come and get your child. When we are able to start lunch bunch and enrichment, I'll probably send out some information, or in January, if things are looking good and we're able to move to phase 3 and start some of those activities, I will, I'll probably have another quick parent meeting to talk about little things like how we're going to manage those kind of carpool and things like that. This is a lot of information right now as it is. So, but there's carpool for everything at Glen because parking is a challenge for us. So if your child starts staying for lunch bunch, there'll be carpool. If they start staying for some of the enrichment activities, we'll have carpool run as well. So we're going to be, again, we'll guide you through it. It's pretty easy. We want you to have your carpool card in the front window in the driver's side. Leticia or I, we're on walkie-talkies, we're calling out names, and you're pulling up, we're getting them loaded, and then we're helping you kind of get out and off. We just ask that everybody be patient at the beginning of the year because it just takes a minute for everybody to kind of get into a groove. The last thing I have is inclement weather. Every year we always say we follow DeKalb County school calendar, and we follow DeKalb County on the inclement weather, largely because when DeKalb County closes, our teachers have kids, and so it's hard for us to staff the school. And sometimes DeKalb gets it right, and sometimes they don't. This year, I'm going to be making the call and about whether or not we can have school, you know, if it's safe for everybody to come, if we have ice storm or something like that. So again, all the more reason that we want you checking your class dojos. We want you checking Facebook. We'll post in multiple different ways and try and make sure that everybody knows if we're not going to be having school. We'll share more information when we get to kind of that time of the year, and we'll see if we can figure out what we need to do. So at this point, that's most of what I wanted to share. I wanted to, we have a little bit of time. If folks have any questions, Debbie, I don't know if we can get questions through chat. Oh, there's yeah, y'all write down my phone number and put it in your phone. So if you're running late, you know, don't panic, just call me. Most folks get there on time, and we'll take good care of your child while you're trying to get there. But sometimes stuff happens, and so we know that. If you become one of those people that are late a lot, I'll probably have a little word with you, but everyone has a day here and there where they just can't quite get there on time. But the most important thing is that you get there safely. So just try and let me know so that we can let your child know that you're on the way. We always tell them that you got stuck at the red light, and so they know that you're on the way. But let me know what I can do to kind of help with anything that you need this year. Again, we're very excited about being back. I know it's very nerve-wracking for many of you, but and I've tried very hard to be, you know, to share with everybody who's nervous. Everybody needs to do what is best for them. And if I can answer questions, if I can help make you feel more secure with whatever decision you go with, I'm happy to have a phone call or email or whatever. But you know, we're all in this together, and so, but we also don't all feel the same way and to have the same comfort levels, and that's okay. I understand that. The teachers understand that. I know the teachers are excited for all the kids to be back, but if it takes a minute for them to come back, then, you know, that's okay. We're going to be there, and we're going to be excited whenever you guys decide to start. So Debbie, are there any questions from?
Yeah, so I'll just let everyone know what we're going to do is you send me your question in chat, and I will ask them for you to carry. This will be the most orderly way to do this. So it's going to be first come, first serve. So as I get the questions, I'm going to ask them, okay? So go ahead and start sending them to me in the chat. We already have, it looks like, a couple ready to go.
Okay, great.
So,
and guys, let me just say, we'll probably do this for about 10 minutes or so. If we start getting a lot of questions, and I think there's a theme, we may end up having another meeting. So I don't want to keep people for hours, but I'll do my best to answer them quickly. If it's something that's more personal, please feel free to just hang on to your question and either call me or email me your specific question if it's just related to your family. Okay, go ahead, Debbie.
all right, so the first question is what time to drop off on Thursday for paperwork and picking up carpool signs?
Oh, so Thursday, I think almost all the classes are doing some kind of drive-by meet and greet. So it's different for every class. So you will hear from your teacher what time that is. So whenever you come on Thursday, if you're not able to come on Thursday, just shoot me. I'm going to be there every day this week. I'm going to try and not work quite so long on Friday. But if you just want to swing by and drop it off, I can meet you at the door if the time's not convenient, the meet and greet is. So just let me know, and I'll pop down and get your forms. You can also email me the forms, and I'm printing them out. So that's another option. I've got a couple families I know are out of town right now that weren't able to make the meeting today. So you can also email me the forms as well. And then we'll just get the card to you the first day of Carpool. The teacher will give it to you. So when we're doing Carpool, we'll just ask, you know, who are you picking up? So, and please bear with us. It's been a while since we've seen you. I think I know everybody's name from the previous year, but bear with us as we ask questions. We want to make sure we're getting the right child in the right car. So that's very important.
Next question is the classrooms that have windows or doors that open to the exterior, like the 2-year-old rooms, will they be opening, will the teachers be opening them for better circulation?
Yes, and they have baby gates to block those, to keep the kids safe, and they keep those doors open all the time. That's part of their regular way of functioning, you know. So they also have windows in a lot of the rooms, and teachers will have some windows open. We'll have the HEPA filters, And so, and again, we'll have mask wearing in the older classrooms. So I think we're doing all that we can do.
Okay, is kindergarten still having lunch at school and leaving at 1 except Wednesdays?
No, everybody's leaving at noon. We're not doing lunch at all. So kindergarten will be at noon. And I think those teachers have reached out about that, but I'll have them clarify that. We're hoping to transit once we get started. If we're feeling more and more confident and we can get trying to get a permit. I've got to get a permit for a canopy tent. We tried to get one of the big tents to put on the Glen Church property, and it was going to be $10,000 for 3 months. So we did not have that. So now I'm talking about purchasing one of those canopy tent, but we have to get a permit through the fire department, and nobody's in the fire department office. And so I'm working on that. But once we get in a groove and we're feeling comfortable and we know we have a good place to eat outside for the kindergarten, they may expand to 1 before anybody else does. They may do that in phase 2. We may make an exception to that as time goes on, but not initially.
Okay. Should we wait to sign up for Lunch Bunch until phase 3 is announced, and are spots filling up quickly?
I don't think spots are filling up quickly. I think it's fine to wait. For those that have already submitted checks, we can apply those to Lunch Bunch once we start it, or we'll work with each individual person to maybe apply it to tuition until we start Lunch Bunch. So yeah, I would hold off. Again, we've got lots of teachers willing to work Lunch Bunch, and we're doing 4 pods instead of 3. So I think we're going to have plenty of spaces for people to do lunch once we go into phase 3. So I would just wait a minute, and we'll give everybody the heads up. We're not just going to all of a sudden Lunch Bunch starts next week. We're going to give people a heads up, and we'll send out the Lunch Bunch sign up form to everybody at that time.
Carpool for toddlers. So do we need to walk them up to the door in the morning, but use carpool lane in the afternoon?
No, toddlers will walk up both in the morning and the afternoon. Toddlers, especially at the end of the day, once the first child gets picked up, they get a little bit emotional. It's just easier for them if they're in the classroom, or close to the classroom. Luckily, that door is really close to where the classroom is, so the teachers will bring your child to the door. So for those folks in the afternoon, it's best to get there a little bit on the earlier side, or maybe a little bit on the later side of the carpool window, which is that 20-minute window of 11:50 to 12:10. Mornings are less difficult, or just go ahead and park across the street at the Youth and Activities building and walk across. That's probably the easiest thing to do, and it's easier to get in and out that way.
All right. They're wondering about a blanket policy for families that travel throughout the school year, especially those that plan to meet up with larger groups for trips. Will these be handled on a case-by-case basis, or should every family plan to isolate or stay out of school after choosing to expose themselves to a larger group?
Personally, I'd rather handle that on a case-by-case basis. I mean, there's certain states that you travel to that are doing better than Georgia, so that when you return, and depending on what you did when you were traveling, if you were traveling just with your immediate family and isolating, and you come back and you're not coming from a hot spot. But I think anytime anybody's out of school for a period of time, I would like for parents to contact me. Let's talk about where you were and what your situation was. If you are going to a big giant wedding, yes, I'm going to ask you to wait 10 days to come to school when you get back. But we can work together on that, and I'm happy to be the person that kind of talks through what's the safest thing to do. The great thing is that I think everybody wants what's best, not just for their children, but for their little pod, their friends, the kids' friends, and for everybody in the Glen community. So we are going to do a lot of erring on the side of caution this year. So I'm going to try not to be ridiculous. I'm not going to try and be extreme with everything, but we are going to try and be very careful. So we'll work on that, and we will again take it on a case-by-case basis. But I do want parents to let me know if you're traveling and when you're coming back and what that circumstance was, so that we can make a decision together.
Okay, if we elect to delay my son's start day, will I be required to drop off the change of clothes and diapers on Thursday? And is a mask required for twos?
Mask is not required for twos, and you do not need to drop off those items. I would prefer that forms come, just so that we can make sure we have all the forms checked off for everybody that's enrolled. So if you can give me the forms, but on the first day, and again, different age kids need different items sent, and teachers will be giving you their packets with their list of what kind of things they want you to send for their children. So if you're delaying, you do not need to send all of that stuff on the first day or when you're visiting on Thursday.
I think this was already asked, but I'll go ahead and ask it again. Does Glenn have a policy for quarantining from school after families travel vacation? I think you already answered that one.
Yeah, I mean, again, guys, I think that, like I went to Texas to take my daughter back to school, but I was only around my sisters and who in her family who have been completely locked down, and my daughter who's been part of my little pod. We wore masks on the plane. We did all the right things. So, I think that I really just need people to communicate with me where you've been, when you're coming back in town, whether or not there was any high risk contact or exposure during that time, so that we can make a decision about whether or not it's safe for your child to come back to school. So again, case by case kind of basis. There are some states that have very little disease if you're coming from that state. And depending on the way you traveled and that kind of thing. So yeah, but again, that all falls back onto we've got to really overly communicate this year. And if you have any question about whether or not your child should come to school, pick up the phone and call me and we'll talk it through.
So the last question that I have, if you can just reiterate what your plan is for positive cases in the class versus the whole school. So if there is a positive case in one class, will you be putting the whole school into phase 1, or will you only be doing it by each class?
So if we have only one, like say we have one child in one class, we would probably only close that class for a period of how many ever days. And again, I've got a CDC person and parents who are doctors to help me assess how many days do we need to stay closed based on when their exposure was and all of that. So we would go virtual, we would go phase 1 for that class. And again, with the pod, I don't think that we're going to have a child that would have had interaction with other classrooms. I did not separate any twins this year. We kept the twins together so that they would be have the same pod all day, and we weren't going to be merging pods. The only exception would be in the Bears class, where the teachers are the same for both of those classes. We would probably, both of those classes would go virtual, and the same thing would probably happen with the toddlers. Because again, there's teachers that are there all those days. So there's another person with an exposure. So it wouldn't make sense to close one classroom and not the other classroom. If we have more than one case, we may potentially close the school for a period of 2 weeks or however long we need to. So, so yeah, that's kind of the plan right now. And as far as communicating that, if we have any cases in the school, I'll contact the church and the teachers first, immediately contact the class, and then immediately contact the whole school. And again, I'm going to be very careful and respectful of confidentiality, but we will make sure that if there's any kind of significant exposure, or certainly if there's a positive case, we will make sure everybody in the school knows it, so you can make a decision about what you're comfortable with.
Okay, so here's one final question that just came in. So the last one for you. Is carpooling with another family for drop off and pickup okay?
Y'all will be wearing masks in the car, and I assume that some of those kids are in the same pod. Give me a call. We'll talk about it. I would prefer that kids try and stay in their pods, but I know after school there's going to be some kids that are having interactions with other families. I tried very hard to put children into classrooms with the kids that they pod with after school. But if you are in a car with somebody else that's coming to school, please make sure that those children and the adults are all wearing masks. And let me know, certainly if we say that we're closing a certain case and your child has a friendship with that child outside school, please let me know so that I can make a good decision about whether or not there's a risk to anybody else in another class. Again, it's all about assessing risk and assessing the type of exposure that children have had. And I can't do that if people don't tell me what's been going on. So please just let me know and we'll take it from there.
I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. If you think of other questions, just shoot me an email. We do have teachers have CPR and first aid training tomorrow, and then we've got some more training for Class Dojo, so that we're all up and running on Class Dojo and can share information well with you guys. So in the mornings, I might be a little bit harder to reach over Tuesday and Wednesday. I am going to try and turn my phone off on Sunday just to take a little bit of a break. It's been a pretty long summer, but I will get back to you if you send me an email or if you have a question. And again, questions are going to pop up. So if you guys have anything, please do not hesitate to reach out. I try and respond very quickly to emails. And so I will let you know if I'll get back with you immediately. If you have a question, we'll figure it out. So thank you all. I really appreciate you taking time to come to the meeting, and we're going to record this, or this was recorded. We'll send it out again. So if one of the parents didn't get to see it or is working tonight and they want to know what happened during the meeting, please encourage them to watch it. So thank you all, and we're very excited about welcoming as many of you back next week as comfortable coming back. So we will be in touch, and just look for emails this week. We're going to give you some more information. So thank you so much. Bye, everybody.